In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void.
To hear John Raush tell it, the idea of protecting our earth began with the one who was there in the beginning.
When you think about the first chapter of Genesis, first couple of chapters of Genesis, you really have a plan of God, that God was the God of life.
Out here, in the heart of Appalachia, under the vast blue eastern Kentucky sky, it is hard to separate God from the glory of nature.
As we walk through here, there is such a biodiversity, there is such an interdependence on the life structures, whether it's a little ant or a little spider, a tree, a shrub, all these things are integrated together.
Does this have to do with faith?
It sure does, because we are part of nature.
Raush learned to appreciate that when he arrived in Appalachia 45 years ago to work with the region's poor.
After a while, I started looking over their shoulder, and I would see the mountains in the background, and it slowly made a change in me. I could still see the person. I could now see the person in a context. The context. The context of the beauty of creation. I'm sorry. I'm really passionate about this.
It was their human suffering that redefined his life's work.
I'm not an environmentalist. I'm a person who is a theologian who believes in care.
You're a priest.
I'm a priest. I believe in care of creation. I'm a person who integrates my faith with how I try to live.
And the Pope?
And the Pope is the same. He's a priest. And a priest, basically, this is the amazing thing, a priest is supposed to be one who kind of like is bringing heaven and earth together in a harmony.
But here in the heart of coal country USA, Father John also learned that's not always an easy case to make.
You formed us in your own image and set us over the whole world in all its wonder.
The faithful here have long lived dependent on an industry often seen at odds with the environment.
Discover God in all things. There is a mystical meaning to be found in a leaf, in a mountain trail, in a dewdrop, in a poor person's face.
In a church that sits directly across from an abandoned coal plant, a sermon about climate change is often not welcome.
When you deliver a homily, do you know that there are people out there who would like you to stop talking about these issues?
Yes, some people have gotten up and walked out. Now, that's not something I want to encourage, but there are
Why? Why do they walk out on you?
They walk out, I believe, because they don't. They feel like I have become too partisan political.
But here in the other America of eastern Kentucky, where coal mining jobs have dropped to half what they were just a few years ago, and Catholics make up only 3% of the population,
It's the body of Christ.
Father John has maintained something of a personal ministry, pressing his flock to understand that close connection between earth and man. We listened in as Father John drove out to a former strip mine with parishioner Rick Whitley.
I know coal mining's not going to suit everybody.
As they studied the mountain, blasted away for the riches beneath its surface, Whitley gently reminds his pastor of the priorities in this community.
You know, I don't really push coal, but these people actually around this area love it in that it provides jobs.
Yeah.
And the economy booms when the coal is booming.
Mm-hmm. Well, coal was so essential to the industrialization of America. Right now, it just strikes me that we're into another era altogether, and I think we're into the era of looking after the environment, because unless we do that, we are going to be sick. We are going to be strapped for resources that we need.
After 4 decades of preaching that message about the wilderness,
God created man in his image in the divine.
Father John found it
created
echoed in
male
Pope
and
Francis's
female.
teaching document on the environment, the encyclical released this summer called, in Latin, Laudato Si.
If I may, I'll quote from Laudato Si. We have a God of life, and it's from the scriptures and all these verses that point to, let us now be stewards. Let us now really cultivate and not just take.
For the pastor, it was an unexpected shot of support.
You've been campaigning
Yeah.
for the environment
Right.
decades.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I wanted to say yay. I wanted to say yay. I said, at least I
Did
have.
you feel vindicated?
Absolutely correct, but also I also had some more information and moral suasion to apply to congregations, to say that this is part of Catholic social teachings now, is that we look after the environment.
A chemist by training, the Pope signaled his determination to press environmental issues from the start, taking the name Francis, the patron saint of nature. His encyclical, which specifically mentions climate change and ties global warming to human activity, generated controversy even before its release. Prominent American Catholics urged him to steer clear of political subjects. Father John has heard that line, too.
Every sermon is political. If you just sit around saying love, 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 and you don't make it concrete, then everybody goes home, oh, that's a lovely sermon.
Is this what the Pope should be talking about?
He has no choice but to speak out on that. The same way if one country decides to go to a war against another country, you would say, wait a minute, we better speak against violence against people. If you destroy the earth, you're doing violence against people. You're also doing violence against God's garden, God's gift. Our society is bombarding us with noise.
Now 70, Father John finds himself renewed by daily contemplation and by his connection with nature.
You can play Skip the Rock,
How
okay?
do you do this?
All right, I'm going to try it, okay? Here we go. Well,
you got some.
that was about 4.
It's places like these, he says, that spiritual leaders must protect as true evidence of their faith.
Is this what the Pope meant?
I would think Pope Francis would be right alongside us, and he would be skipping rocks the same as us, and maybe we'd have a prayer together. And it'd be a prayer of thankfulness and nice going God.